Hello, everybody. So, I'm taking a break, and a little bit of a break, and I wanted to make this recording. Right now, I am just making this recording. I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to actually upload it to the channel, because if I do, I will probably incur the wrath of a reasonable percentage of people who actually listen. So I have to debate and pray about, should I post this or should I not? So if I do post it, I'm going to caveat it all over the place. I will caveat it by saying, I am not setting a date. I know that there are a lot of people where it's almost like if you set a date, it's like holding, up garlic in front of a vampire or something. Is that the thing? Is it garlic? I'm not even sure. Whatever you do for them. They just recoil, right? And I understand, part of it anyway. I know there's a scripture that says no one knows the day or the hour, but I also know that there are many scriptures that talk about the importance of us watching. And we're encouraged to watch, and there's a crown and a reward for watching. And he wants us to be found watching when he comes. And so for those of you who are doing that and who revel in that and who enjoy it, I happen to be one of them, right? I don't know. I just get I just get a little thrill of excitement whenever there's what people refer to as a high watch date. It just excites me, and maybe that's just my personality. I don't know, but for those of you who know it, right? You know that feeling, and it just gives you something else to think about and to look forward to for that day, right? So if you are that person, if you get that little thrill, then this video is for you. If you are not that person, then this video is not for you. So I'll tell you now, if you leave me comments complaining, you were warned, right? You were warned. So I have just been doing what I do, right, during the course of the day. I do my work, and I, take care of my family. And when I have time and spare moments, I tool around in the YouTube verse and see what's out there. Usually my subject of preference these days has been the Rapture. I'm just very, very interested in it. It makes me happy, for lack of a better term, right? So I was doing that last night, and I happened across one of my favorite go-to sites. And this one is called Rapture Ready Moon 2025, the gentleman that hosts that YouTube channel. And I'm not saying I agree with everything he says, all right? I would say there are probably very few people out there where I just agree with everything they say. But that said, it doesn't mean I'm not going to listen. And it doesn't mean that I can't learn some things. And I have definitely learned some things from him. I can see that he definitely has a gift for teaching. And there are some things that he's brought out just in the course of my listening, not even having to do with the Rapture, just regular Bible study stuff. And I've learned some things. They're like, oh, wow, I never knew about that before, or I never thought about that before. So sometimes I just go over there for little nuggets of information, right, that may be beneficial, things that I didn't know that I could learn, right? We could always learn. So I was over there yesterday, and he's been doing a series of videos talking about a specific thing. It's difficult to go into here, and I don't want to spend too much time, delving into it. If you would like, you can always go over to his channel and check it out. But specifically, he was doing a series of videos on a couple of dreams that people in the Watchman community had recently had. And they had to do with a Rubik's Cube and solving a specific puzzle. Okay, so if I give you that much info, that should be enough to, kind of tune you in to the videos that I'm referring to. So anyway, I had started listening to one of those videos, and it was like a part one. And it was interesting, but it kind of cut off unexpectedly, and so I was waiting for part 2. So he dropped part 2 some hours later, and I thought, oh, there it is. So I went and I started listening. And he was explaining some things which, I will not lie, a lot of them were just like straight over my head. I was not feeling it, for lack of a better term. I was like, okay, he's saying this. Yeah, I don't get that. He's saying that. Yeah, I don't get that either. There were a lot of things I didn't get. Not saying he was wrong or he was right. I'm just saying that it would require further study on my part to really understand where he was coming from and what he was trying to convey. But at the very end of that video, he said something that just absolutely resonated with me. And now that I got, that I was like, what? Did he just, what? I was shocked. Now, maybe nobody else will be shocked. Maybe it's just me. But I was shocked, and enough to where I thought it was worth sharing. And I posted it. I did a verbal post on my channel last night, and I just wanted to expound on that a little bit with a video. So let me see if I can explain this properly. Okay. So for those of you who are familiar at all with some of the people in the Watchman community and different YouTube channels and so forth, there is a sister whose YouTube channel is called Irene for Christ. She is apparently a new Christian. I think she became a Christian during the summer of this year. And she's gotten quite a few dreams that have been very interesting and relating to the rapture and so forth. And a lot of the people in with their YouTube channels in the Watchman community have kind of taken notice of these different dreams that she's had, right? Well, in one of them, and I saw this when she first posted it, and in that particular dream, she talked about, and if you want to watch it, you can always go to her channel. So I'm just paraphrasing. She talked about wanting to get some clarification from the Lord about a time frame, talking about the rapture. And so she said that she did that thing that probably a lot of people have done at one point in their life who are Christian, where you kind of drop the Bible open and you look at whatever page it lands on. And she caveated that by saying she doesn't normally like to do that, but for whatever reason, she did that this time. Anyway, she said that the Bible fell into, it was either 1 Kings or 2 Kings, and she happened to notice that it was in her particular Bible, it was on page 508. 508. And she took that page number, and in her mind, she felt like that was representative of a time. And she called out 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And I remember when I first saw that video, I thought, okay, that's what she got. I'm not sure why she got that, but that's what she got. I was, had a question mark in my mind, but I, sort of tucked it in the back of my mind, kind of in a corner there for further evaluation later, right? But she also said something else in her video. She said, she used the term 5:08 p.m. And she actually specifically said, well, I didn't get 5:08 p.m. Here's what I got instead. But she did say in that video 5:08 p.m. Okay? Keep that in mind. 5:08 p.m. Okay. So George over at Rapture Ready Moon referenced that. And then he said he had found a video from a YouTuber named, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to go back and look at the name. I'll link it in the description because it's very important. I'll get the exact name of the channel, but it's a small channel. Who am I to talk, right? It's a small channel, and this man that posted this video posted it on November 27th of 2014, and it was a dream that he had had about the rapture. And so George went, during his video, he went back and played this video from 11 years ago that was posted by this man. And he let his audience listen to it, and the volume was very low. And I don't know, as soon as I heard this man's voice, it struck me. I don't know why it struck me, but it did. And I went back myself and listened to his video. Just listening to the man and his voice, very unassuming, very humble, very just, not an ounce of pride is the best way I can describe it. Just almost honored to be, have had a dream and to be able to post it, but almost apologetic at the same time. Very, very unassuming. And it struck me. And it especially struck me that this man posted this video in 2014, so many years ago. And it just resonated with me. So I'm listening to the video, and George had said this, and I listened to it, and he was correct. This man, November 27th, 2014, he posted his video at 5:08 p.m. 5:08 p.m., the exact same time that Sister Irene had called out in her video. She didn't recognize it, but she did call out 5:08 p.m. And I thought to myself, that cannot be a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences, just so you know. I learned a long time ago there are no such things as coincidences. You've got a sister calling out a time of 5:08 p.m. this year, and it references a video that was posted at the exact same time 11 years ago that has to do with the rapture. I was just absolutely astounded by that. And I thought, there has got to be a reason why these two things match up so well. There's something about that video. There's something about it that the Lord is highlighting it. And I'm not claiming to know what it is. I'm not jumping over there to any times or dates, right? But I do believe that there's a reason why those times are matching up so perfectly the way they are. There's something about that video that he's highlighting. So I went and I listened to it. And basically in the video, the man talked about having a dream where he was in bed and he woke up and he said that he heard a horn sound. And then he said that he started going up like it was the rapture. He said, but he used the term that he bounced back. In other words, he said that he felt like in his dream that he represented either a backslidden Christian or an unsaved person who actually got left behind, and he bounced back, meaning he started to go up, but then he bounced back and he didn't go up. And after that, he said he went outside and he saw all the souls that were leaving, and they were just leaving these sort of different colors all across the sky. Each soul, he said, had a different color. There were reds, there were greens, there were blues, there were oranges, there were yellows. It was just very interesting the way he perceived it. All these different colors. And there wasn't a lot to the dream, but it really resonated with me because about a week and a half ago, I had the first real rapture dream I've ever had in my life. And I'll caveat that by saying I have had another profound dream, but it wasn't a rapture dream in the classical sense. And I didn't find out until much later that it had to do with the rapture. I'm not counting that one for purposes of this discussion. But I am saying that a true sort of classic rapture dream I had never had until about a week and a half ago. And when I had the dream, I completely discounted it. I said to myself, it wasn't from the Lord. There are certain things that I look for because I do get dreams and visions, and I've had them long enough to where I feel like I know the hallmarks to look for to know whether it's from the Lord or whether it's not. And this one, I questioned it, right? And one of the main reasons why I questioned it is because there was no great grand emotion, right? In this particular dream. And I would have expected there to be some great grand emotion. I would have expected there to be some type of profound color or something like that. Because a lot of times when there's bright colors, that's a real indicator for me that a dream is from the Lord. This didn't have that. So I had discounted it. I hadn't even recorded it. I usually record my dreams. I didn't even do that. But boy, I'm giving it a second look now. And here's why. So in that dream, I was outside and I looked up and I saw a cloud, and the cloud started moving and kind of, boiling a little bit. And the next thing I knew, I was going up. I was being raptured. And I was praising the Lord as I was going up. I was saying, thank you, Jesus, as I was going up. But as I said, I didn't think this dream was from God, because I would have thought I would have had a lot more emotion as I was going up. Like I would have been like just over the moon, but I was just kind of going up and praising the Lord, and at the same time a little fearful and hoping that I would make it up all the way, right? In the dream, I remember that, right? Praising the Lord, a little fearful, hoping I was going to make it all the way. And then when I was about halfway up in the sky, I started coming back down. And when I woke up, that's the hallmarks that I remember. When I woke up, my first thought was, what was that? What was that all about? Right? And I was trying to figure out, okay, if that dream was from the Lord, which I didn't think it was, what was it saying? And that's where you have all kinds of questions about how do you interpret. We all know how difficult that can be. So I kind of parked it, right? I put it on the shelf, didn't think too much about it. What did it mean? I don't know. But then when I found this other man's video from this long time ago, it resonated with me because it was so similar to the dream that he had. And I have never heard another person talk about a dream where they, as he put it, bounced back or started going up and then came back down. He's the only person I've ever heard say something like that. And here I'd had a dream just so similar to that just a week and a half ago. And at that point, I was like, oh, maybe the reason I had that dream was because the Lord wanted me to pay special attention to this man's dream. He was pointing me to this man's dream and wanting me to know this thing is important. This dream from 2014, 11 years ago, is important. You pay attention. That's what I got. Again, I'm not saying I'm right. Dream interpretation is a tricky thing. But I am telling the truth when I say that's what I got. That the reason why I had that dream was so that when this one came along from this man, I would recognize it and know you pay attention. I'm trying to tell you something. So I thought, okay, this is incredible. I can't ignore this, right? This is amazing. So then the thought came to me, wait a minute, this man who posted this dream at 5:08 p.m., he posted it on November 27th, 2014. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, Thanksgiving this year is November 27th, isn't it? And I looked at the calendar. Yep, sure enough, Thanksgiving this year is November 27th. So then I thought, well, when is the last time that Thanksgiving fell on November 27th? Have there been any times between that date and this one? And I looked and no, the answer is no. The last time Thanksgiving fell on November 27th was the day that man posted his dream 11 years ago. 11 years ago. This man had a dream at 5:08 p.m. about the rapture, Thanksgiving morning. So he posted this dream 11 years ago in the 11th month. How many of us have seen 11:11? I know I ain't the only one that has seen 11:11 for years now. Years. Clocks, newspaper articles, license plates, You name it. I'm sure we've all seen at some point or another 11:11. I've heard it too much to know to think that it ain't true. I know it's true. I've heard so many people say, "Oh, I see 11:11 all the time," right? So, okay, so what do we have? We have a dream from a man on Thanksgiving morning, 11 years ago, at 5:08 p.m. That exact time was referenced by Sister Irene this year, 2025. Exact time. The man posted the dream, which was very, very similar to a dream that I had just about a week and a half ago, to draw my attention to his dream. And he posted it on November 27th. It will be exactly 11 years ago in the 11th month. I just find all of that interesting. That's all I'll say. I'll say it's interesting. I don't know what it means. I don't claim to. The only thing that I feel sure of is that there's something about that man's dream that's making me sit up and take notice, and I don't even know what it is. I don't know what it is. And I've listened to it over again a couple times. And I don't know for sure. I'm not going to go to the obvious and say, oh, it's the date. I don't know. I'm not saying that. But there's something about that dream. And I just wanted to put it out there because I feel like it's important enough to where it's worth noting, right? It's worth commenting on. And maybe somebody else will see something that I'm missing, that George missed, that the Lord shows them about the import of that dream. I'd be interested to know if anybody sees anything that we're missing. Okay, I got it out. I did it. All right. Thank you for listening. God bless.